Level 1, the cast member. You're not an executive. You're not even close. You're the person in the Mickey ears. You scan tickets at the front gate. You serve churros on Main Street. You smile at strangers for 8 hours in August heat. Disney calls you a cast member, not an employee. That's intentional. You are part of the performance. You make $15 an hour. You share a break room with 40 other people. Management doesn't know your name. You are warm labor in a costume, but you are being watched. Disney tracks guest satisfaction scores down to the individual. You get 1 complaint and your shift supervisor pulls you aside. You get 3 and you're written up. Your job is to protect the illusion. Keep the surface perfect. Never show the seams. Never break character. Level 2, the team leader. You passed the test. You showed up on time every shift. You kept your composure during a 6-hour stretch with a broken air conditioning unit and a crowd of 3,000 guests. Now you have a radio on your hip. You're a team leader. You supervise a small group of cast members. You handle the schedule. You absorb the complaints. A guest screams at you because the wait time for Space Mountain is 90 minutes. You apologize. You smile. You hand them a fast pass. That is your entire toolkit. You make maybe $20 an hour. You are still on the floor, but you're watching how the machine runs. You learn fast that Disney's real product isn't rides or movies. It's a controlled emotional experience, and you are one small gear keeping it moving. Level 3, the area manager. You are off the floor. You have an office. It's a small room in a back corridor guests never see. You manage multiple team leaders now. You control a section of the park, maybe Fantasyland, maybe a resort property. You watch the numbers every single day, guest satisfaction scores, attendance figures, revenue per guest. If the churro cart in your zone is down $3,000 from last Tuesday, that is your problem to explain. You attend daily briefings. Directives come from above and you pass them down below. You are the middle of a very long chain. Disney's Parks and Experiences segment generates over $30 billion annually. You are responsible for a fraction of that. But fractions matter here. Every fraction gets audited. Level 4, the director. You have a real office now with your name on the door. You have managers reporting to you. You have a budget, not a large budget, but a real one with real consequences attached. You make decisions that affect thousands of guests each day. Maybe you oversee operations for an entire park. Maybe you manage a division inside Disney's Consumer Products Group. You understand now that Disney is not one company. It is a web of companies. Walt Disney Pictures, Pixar, Marvel, Lucasfilm, ESPN, Hulu, Disney+, ABC, FX, National Geographic. All of them fall under the same roof. Your job is to keep your corner of that web profitable. You present your numbers to senior leadership every quarter. If your numbers are soft, you receive a very polite but very serious conversation. Level 5, the vice president. The title changes everything. VP is on your business card now. You manage directors. You oversee budgets measured in the tens of millions. You fly to meetings in other cities. You sit in rooms with people whose decisions move stock prices. Disney has hundreds of vice presidents. You are not rare at this level, but you are inside. You get invited to the strategy sessions. You hear things before they go public. Maybe you're a VP of content strategy for Disney+. You know 6 months in advance which Marvel series gets a green light. You know which ones get quietly shelved. Disney Plus carries over 120 million subscribers globally. You know exactly which shows keep them paying and which ones hemorrhage money per episode. Level 6, the senior vice president. Now your decisions eliminate positions, not directly, but your restructuring report recommends consolidating 2 departments. Leadership approves it. 300 people are out because of a slide deck you presented. This is the level where the machinery becomes visible. Disney runs 220,000 employees worldwide, keeping that running costs billions every quarter. You see costs everywhere now. Every park expansion, every press premiere, every streaming launch campaign, the $60 billion parks investment plan over the next decade. You helped model parts of that projection. You know which parks are getting new lands. You know which ones are sitting on a waiting list. You know why. You are not allowed to say why publicly. Level 7, the executive vice president. You are the person who gets called when something goes wrong, not the press release person. You. A Marvel film underperforms its opening weekend. Your phone rings before the official numbers are even posted. You manage across divisions simultaneously: legal, finance, marketing, and production, all in the same afternoon. You are the connective tissue between the creative side and the business side. Disney's synergy model depends entirely on people at your level. A new Pixar film doesn't just make money in theaters. It generates park rides, merchandise, streaming series, and global licensing deals across every division. You are the one mapping that entire pipeline. You make sure every department is positioned before the film releases. If one piece of that pipeline is late, the revenue gap shows up in the quarterly report. Level 8, the segment chairman. You are one of 3 people at this level. Disney runs 3 core segments: Disney Entertainment, ESPN, and Disney Experiences. Each has a chairman sitting at the top. Alan Bergman runs the studios. Jimmy Pitaro runs ESPN. You run one of them. Your segment generates billions in annual operating income. Disney Entertainment alone controls Marvel, Star Wars, Pixar, ABC, FX, Hulu, and Disney+. ESPN is its own sovereign territory with its own billion-dollar media rights deals. Experiences controls the parks, the cruise lines, and the resort hotels. Your division's profit and loss statement is larger than some countries' annual budgets. You hire and fire senior executives. You greenlight projects worth hundreds of millions of dollars, but you still answer to one person above you. Level 9, the President and Chief Creative Officer. Dana Walden holds this seat now. Disney created the role in 2026. You are the creative center of the entire company. You report directly to the CEO. You oversee Disney Entertainment fully. That means you control the pipeline: what gets made, what gets shelved, what gets a sequel, and what gets quietly retired. Marvel, Star Wars, Pixar, FX, ABC, Disney+, Hulu, all of it flows through your office. You oversee the games division and the $1.5 billion Epic Games partnership that is building Disney's characters into Fortnite. You also own the streaming merger project. Disney Plus and Hulu are being combined into a single app in 2026. Hitting 10% operating margins on streaming is your target. If it doesn't land, that conversation is yours to have with the board. Level 10, the board chairman. James Gorman sits in this chair. He's the former CEO of Morgan Stanley. He became Disney's board chairman on January 2nd, 2025. You are not an operator. You don't run a division. You govern. The board holds 11 members, drawn from technology, finance, and media. Your job is to set strategic direction and provide oversight of the CEO. When Bob Iger announced his departure, the board selected his successor. They chose Josh D'Amaro unanimously. That decision was yours to make. You don't produce films. You don't manage park construction, but you decide who does. You set the compensation framework. You approve or reject major acquisitions. Marvel cost $4 billion. Lucasfilm cost another $4 billion. The Fox acquisition cost $71 billion. Deals of that scale land on your table before anyone else sees them. Level 11, the CEO. Josh D'Amaro took this position on March 18, 2026. He spent 28 years inside this company before reaching the top seat. He came up through the parks. He ran Disney Experiences before this appointment. Now he runs all of it. 3 segment leaders report directly to him. Hundreds of executives filter upward through those 3. Disney's market cap sits around $180 billion. Every earnings call is his. Every major strategic decision carries his approval. He decides whether streaming hits its margin targets. He decides how aggressively to expand the parks over the next decade. He decides whether ESPN's direct-to-consumer pivot becomes a defining growth engine or a $5 billion miscalculation. Bob Iger remains as a senior advisor until the end of 2026. The seat is D'Amaro's. The results are D'Amaro's. Level 12, the shareholders and the board itself. There is no single throne here. Power is distributed and constantly shifting. 11 directors, millions of shareholders, institutional investors, activist funds, tracking every quarterly result. If the stock drops 15%, they all speak at once and they are not polite about it. The CEO can be replaced. Disney replaced its CEO twice inside a single decade. Disney replaced its CEO twice inside a single decade. Bob Chapek was removed after 2 years. Iger came back from retirement. Then Iger handed the seat to DeMauro. The board acts when the numbers demand it. There is no tenure that protects you from consecutive bad quarters. The company has been running for over 100 years. It was bigger than any one executive before you arrived, and it will be bigger than any one executive after you leave. That is the only certainty this hierarchy provides.